Thank you, members. Can I please remind you to ensure that mobile phones and other devices are on silent, that banners, etc. are not permitted, and members of the public are not allowed to address the meeting, to use the microphones which are available when addressing the meeting, that you may be filmed or recorded during this meeting. Thank you. And thank you for being upstanding for the chairman.
Good morning, members. Thank you very much. I would like to call on my chaplain, Pastor Nils Peters, to please lead us in prayers.
Let us pray. Almighty God, our Creator, the one who reigns over us with love, righteousness, and grace. We come before you today with gratitude in our hearts for your kindness and the many blessings that you give us. Heavenly Father, we acknowledge your sovereignty over this council, this county, and this country. And we thank you for the opportunity to meet here today. Thank you for each person in this meeting and the unique talents and perspectives they all bring. We acknowledge that we need your wisdom, guidance, and insight in our discussions and decision-making today. And we welcome your presence with us. Let every decision be righteous in your sight and for the well-being of the people of Nottinghamshire. We pray for a spirit of unity, that despite our differences, we will be open to hear and learn from one another and work together in harmony for the common good. May you bless Nottinghamshire and cause it to flourish. May your peace, protection, and righteousness reign in our lives and in our nation, and may we honor you and your ways. May your kingdom come. May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please, let's remain standing to honor one of our members who died not too long ago, Kristen Jeffries, Councillor. We'll take a minute to honor her this morning, please. Thank you. Please be seated. Hello, members. Can I just ask that we get on with the business of the day? Thank you. We've got the number one item, minutes of the last council, full council that we had. Can I ask council to approve the minutes of the last meeting, please? All those in favor? Okay. All those against? Any abstentions? All right, this is carried. Thank you. We'll go to item number 2. Apologies for absence. I will now ask each group to provide any apologies. Please ensure reasons for any apology are also provided. Councillor Martin Wright, do you have any apologies, please?
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, I do. I have Councillor John for other reasons, Councillor Darrington, other reasons, Councillor Doddy, other reasons, and Councillor Dale, who's ill at the moment. And I have 2 councillors who will be leaving the meeting after lunch. They're Councillor Kelvin Wright on other council business and Councillor Daniel Saban on for other reasons. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Martin. Just one note before I go to Councillor Wheeler. The Vice Chairman, Councillor Doherty, had to travel yesterday night, just last minute travel, because he's got some very important family emergency that came up. And so he's not here today. But kindly we've received in attendance on the dais, again, our former Vice Chair, Madam Chair. Thank you for giving your time today. Yeah. Can I call on Councillor Wheeler, please? Do you have any apologies?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. So apologies for Councillor John Cotty for other reasons, and Councillor Roger Jackson will hope to be with us later today after a medical appointment. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Councillor John Clark for other reasons. Thank you.
Well, I'm not Councillor Carr, clearly. Councillor Carr will be joining us later.
We'll go to agenda number 3, declarations of interest. If any council or officer has an interest in any matter on the agenda, you should please declare it now. Please raise your hand now if you have any interest to declare. When called to speak, you should state what type of interest it is and give brief details. Thank you. Yeah, Councillor Upton, please.
I'd like to declare an interest on the motion about concessionary bus passes, as I have a bus pass. Thank you.
Oh, Councillor Gowley, yes, please. Yeah.
Yes, Chairman, I'm Spartacus. I've got a bus pass as well.
Oh, all right, that's fine. Councillor Brown, please. Yes.
Yes, thank you, Chair, and exactly the same reason.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Neil Clark, please, MBE.
Thank you, Chairman. I know it's hard to believe my youthful looks, but same reason.
Wilmot, please, yes. All right,
After consultation, I'm recording a non-registrial interest and I will be staying in the debate on the review of the concessionary bus travel passes restrictions. Thank you. I've got a bus
I'm
pass.
going
Yeah.
to ask,
No, we're not going to do that, but I'm going to.
I'm going to ask our monitoring officer to speak on that, please.
So Councillor Wilmot's declared a non-registrable interest. I'm assuming that the interest declared by the other members is non-registrable because you're going to stay in the room, take part in the debate and vote. Am I correct? Yeah. Okay, thanks for recording them as non-registrable.
We'll move on to Chairman's business today. We've got quite a few items, so please bear with us. First on the list is the integration and collaborative working award. And I'm going to call on Councillor Walker Golly. Can I ask you to please introduce the award? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I am delighted to share some excellent news regarding the building we're in today and the work on this wider development. The project has recently been recognised at the Constructing Excellence Awards and received the Integration and Collaborative Working Award, recognising the outstanding partnership between Nottinghamshire County Council, Art Partnership and Morgan Sindall Construction in delivering this major facility. The award celebrates not only the successful delivery of a high-quality, environmentally sustainable building, but also the strong collaboration, local economic benefits, and social value generated throughout the project. Alongside this recognition, we have just received notification that the building has been awarded BREEAM Excellent status, making it one of the UK's most sustainable buildings.
Thank you, Councillor Walker Golly. This is truly wonderful news and a fantastic achievement for everyone involved. It is encouraging to see Nottinghamshire County Council and its partners recognised for excellence, innovation and collaboration in the property and asset space. And I'm sure all members will join me in congratulating the teams whose hard work has made this award very possible. I would now like to invite Jonathan Marriott, Head of Property and Estates, James Lewis, Property Projects Team Manager, and Holly Marison, Amanda Cork, and Johnny Davis, who are all project managers, together with Councillor Walker Golly, to come up to the dais. On the Chairman's business is former County Councillor Christine Jeffries' death. We have received the sad news of the death of former County Councillor Christine Jeffries. Christine Jeffries represented Cotgrave from 1989 to 1993. I now invite members to say a few words about former County Councillor Christine Jeffries. Thank you. Oh, yes. Councillor Botter, please. Would you please speak? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, Christine was a lovely lady. She could be formidable and forthright at times, but always incredibly caring and kind. From the day that she moved to Cotgrave in 1963, right up to her passing, she would bang the drum for Cotgrave. Christine was a true blue Conservative lady, and she represented Cotgrave from 1989 to 1993. And she followed in her husband David's footsteps. She'd been a member of Cotgrave Town Council and Rushcliffe Borough Council, and indeed she was mayor of Rushcliffe not once but twice. I first got to know her in 1997 when she was standing again for the Cotgrave division at that year's county elections. Sadly, at the last minute, she had to withdraw because her dear husband suffered a serious car accident, and she never really got over that herself. In 2001, I was the Cotgrave candidate with her blessing, and she was always very supportive of me. And she gave me a lot of advice and continued to discuss the world of local and national politics right up until very, very recently. Now, for a lady who looked very demure, spoke eloquently, had beautiful handwriting, and had great faith, she could sometimes surprise people with some of the words that came from her mouth when she felt particularly strongly about something. Yes, it was quite a moment. When Christine had something in her mind and she wanted to get a point across, you knew she was going to make that point. But as I say, she was always so very, very caring about everyone she represented and worked for. And she was very well known and respected in Cotgrave and for over 5 decades. She loved the village and its residents, and they, whatever their usual political persuasions, they loved her as well. She was a real one-off. She's a real character. I know a lot of people will have met her over the years. And indeed, when news broke a few years ago that she wasn't going to stand again for any council, she was walking through the village one day, and there was a chap at the bus stop, and this voice boomed across from the bus stop. "Mrs. Jeffries, is it true you're not going to be standing again?" And she said, yes. She said, she said, yes. And this chap said, "Well, thank for that. I won't have to vote Tory again." Now, if anyone's a little bit worried about that, she introduced me to this gentleman. And he came up to me and he said, "Oh, yeah, you're not so bad either, are you?" So that was a nice moment. But Christine had that way about her. Everyone knew her politics. Any opportunity she had, she would get that political message across. But at the same time, she had complete love and respect for everybody, even if they didn't necessarily agree with her politically. So she was quite a one-off, and she will be missed. I'll miss her. Plainly, her family will miss her. Oh, she was also, before she got into politics, she was a teacher for many years at Rushcliffe School. And the number of messages that have come through from former pupils who have all said the same thing. They all said she could be stern at times, she was firm, but she was fair, and they're missing her as well. So, yes, I'll miss her, we'll all miss her, and happy memories which will go on forever, and may she rest in peace. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Councillor Butler, for that. Thank you. Thank you. I'll now call on Councillor Neil Clark, MB, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Just very quickly to support those comments, it's just a brief memory came to mind. Only 3 or 4 days before Christine actually died, I gave her a lift home from a social event. And in the car home, and this is only 3 or 4 days before she left us, she was, as a head teacher, telling me in a very forthright manner, a force to be reckoned with. "You've got to tell Starmer that he's doing this wrong, and you should be telling him this, that, and the other." And even up to her last breath, there she was, still very forceful, and she was a fantastic lady.
Thank you very much, Councillor Neil Clark. Can I call on Councillor Penny Goland, please?
Thank you. I knew Chris. Did you say me? Sorry, yeah. Yeah, I knew Christine through Rushcliffe Borough Council, and I'd just like to echo what I've heard. She was incredibly kind and very friendly, and knew everybody, and was very personally interested in you. And she's sorely missed. We need more people like her in politics. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that all? Thank you very much. We'll now go on to other items, which happens to now be my own civic engagements that I've attended since you all graciously elected me as chairman on the 14th of May. And I'm very grateful and thankful again for that honor you all have done me and my family. I've grouped my reports into several items. So I'm just not going to run through everything. I'm just going to mention them. I've had the opportunity to attend parliamentary and citizenship ceremonies, and these were about 4 of them, different events. I've attended citizenship ceremony in Waxham, civic service in Minster, British citizenship ceremony as well in Mansfield. And then I attended a prayer meeting, parliamentary prayer breakfast meeting, just a day or two ago. And so those were very brilliant activities I've had to go through this past few weeks. And then under education, I've got the Roosevelt Memorial Scholarship, traveling scholarship. I'm a trustee because I am chair now, so I've got that seat as a trustee on that brilliant group of scholars. And I also had the opportunity of having a training at Melton Borough Council for civic heads. It was brilliant, 6 or 7 hours of training sometime in June. I also had the Learner and Citizens Award ceremony. I attended that in Mansfield a few days ago, and I met Councillor Wright, was also there with me, Martin Wright. It was a brilliant ceremony, you know, meeting with disabled people and how much support we have for them in the community. It was very, very interesting and brilliant. I'll go on to other charity events that I've attended. I've had the opportunity to attend the charity event when You Wish Upon a Star had put together. Somewhere at here in Nottingham, the Carlton Football Club. I also lovingly and graciously attended the charity visit that they also put up somewhere in Nottingham at the Nottingham Racecourse at Colwood Park. That was quite an interesting event as well. Then we've got family events that I've had to attend as well. I attended the Hemlock family event at Bramcourt, and that was brilliant. I met with a very brilliant professor, Professor Stan Heppenstall, who had been the lead of that program for 24 years and is the last man standing out of all of them that started that program. And I thought, well, perhaps Sibley might give him an award if we can, yeah, sometimes later. And I did also attend the King's official briefing birthday ceremony at Minster. Remembrance and Armed Forces Day, we've had opportunity to support people at community folks at the Bumble Gateway Trust opening event, which took place at Disney in Folly Lane, Norton Disney in Lincoln. We also had a beautiful Armed Forces Day celebration at County Hall not too long ago. I've had the opportunity of attending in the company of Councillor Bert Bingham and Councillor Kelvin Wright as well. The Armed Forces Day Royal British Legion in Waxham. I also had the opportunity to attend the Martian pilgrimage with the Mayor of Rushcliffe, who is also wearing the hat of County Councillor here today. It was a beautiful ceremony. We had to walk 1,000 feet to drop rates. It was lovely, I must say. And then just to round this all up, so I won't take too much of your time this morning, we've had the civic events for the civic events, which is one of them, of course, my election in May. And then I had the opportunity of attending the Heritage and civic engagements, hands-on heritage put together by Inspire. And also that evening, I supported the Ashfield District Council when the chairman was going to be leaving. They had a ball for him. And I had a very good evening with quite a lot of civic heads attending that event as well. Civic event also, staff recognition that we did at the hotel here in Nottingham. Beautiful ceremony. It was lovely. Just saying thank you to staff means a lot to people. And I hope we'll continue in that spirit going forward. I also had the opportunity of attending the summer reception with the Lord Lieutenant, somewhere in Kirkland, in Eckering, somewhere Eckering Road, Kirkland. And I couldn't make it because we couldn't find where it is, really. But eventually, apologies were sent over. Yes, we tried. We really tried. Yeah. Civic engagements as well. I had the opportunity of attending the England and New Zealand cricket match. And I'm very grateful to Councillor Neil Clark, MBE, who took time to tell me about cricket. I don't know much about cricket. I love to play lawn tennis. So we had a brilliant day attending that. I'm very grateful for the support I received. And of course, we had the opportunity, together with the Vice Chairman, putting forward the establishment of the Civic Suite. And we're very grateful to the Civic Office for granting us that to showcase and bring people to the community, and we can do a lot more from there. Thank you, gentlemen and distinguished councillors. I'm very grateful for the opportunity given to me to do all of this, and we'll continue to do more in the days ahead. Thank you. And then we'll go on to changes to the council procedure rules. And I'm going to mention a few things about that before we go on. At the last meeting, we agreed to make changes to the council's procedure rules, which apply from this meeting onwards. For the sake of clarity, I would explain those changes now and also remind you of them at the start of each relevant item. We had sent out a letter as well to every councillor, and we hope that some of you had taken time to go through that letter that we sent out. Members will now have a maximum of 2 minutes to speak on their constituency issue, with the agenda item having a maximum of 20 minutes in total. There will be a maximum of 5 minutes for questions to the leader on the executive report and 40 minutes for council questions to the leader, cabinet members, and committee chairmen. There will be a maximum of 3 minutes per answer. The member who has asked the original question may submit a supplementary question in writing within 5 working days of this meeting. So by close of business on Thursday, 16th July, that will be 5 days after today. In relation to the rules of debate, the mover and seconder of each substantive motion have up to 5 minutes to move and second the motion, and the mover has 5 minutes to reply at the end of the debate. All other speakers have 3 minutes, including those moving an amendment. Each motion has up to 45 minutes for debate, including any amendments, but not including the vote. The final change is that we will break for lunch at approximately 1 p.m. today for 45 minutes. We might, though, ask that councillors give us a few 2-3 minutes to take a photo, as the comms team had requested, just to support the football club, world football. This is going on right now, the football that well playing all over the world right now. So we'll do that hopefully after, just before lunch. Thank you. Agenda number 5. Constituency issues. As I've just explained, members are reminded that there is a maximum time limit of 20 minutes for this item on the agenda now, and each member may only speak for a maximum of 2 minutes. Any speeches not heard in the time limit will fall and can be submitted again at a future meeting. We have 9 speeches today. And I've got Councillor Neil Clark, MBA, regarding encroachment onto highways, land in Newton and A46 through Bingham West. Councillor Russell Dodge regarding Worksop.
We'll just do the clock first.
Yes, sorry. I went a bit too fast. So we'll call on Councillor Neil Clark, MBA, to get on with his question. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Chairman, and I was pleased to be able to explain to you the ins and outs of cricket at the Test match. Enjoyed your company, thank you. I have 2 related issues concerning highway infrastructure in my division of Bingham West, both involving the A46. Firstly, in the village of Newton, there are regular incursions by travellers onto the wide grass verge on Newton Lane at its junction with the A46. The last experience took 2 months to be resolved in what did not need to be such a convoluted and protracted way, with disputes over which legal factors are correct. Residents are rightly concerned at the impact of this on their community and just want the problem solved. We therefore need to scrutinise the process and review how it can be streamlined to take much faster and more efficient action in the future, ensuring the correct processes are followed first time. The second issue relates to the outrageous decision to pull the A46 widening project from the government highway schemes. This affects my constituents who use the A46 for business and private travel and who are impacted by the congestion at Newark. This is vitally needed highway improvement for the benefit of economic growth in Nottinghamshire and the East Midlands. Economic growth to create wealth in this country. Whilst I 100% support defence, it is irresponsible to cancel this A46 investment to pay for much needed increase in defence spending. The funding should come from elsewhere, from cuts in other spending. I'm asking all political parties to campaign together for reinstatement of this investment to help my constituents improve their journeys on the A46 through my division. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you very much. And I'll call on Councillor Russell Dodge regarding Worksop Bridleway 47, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Worksop Bridleway number 47 was closed around 18 months ago, sadly, for the development of a 34 megawatt solar farm on very arable land, which we won't get back for a while. The Bridleway is enjoyed not only by the constituents of Worksop East, but the wider Worksop community, who enjoy a ramble along the beautiful countryside that we have on our doorstep. The Bridleway gives access to the hamlet of Scofton, an area featured in the Domesday Book of 1086, also home to one of the most beautiful churches in the county, St John's the Evangelist, which was built in 1833. Also, RAF Worksop was stationed in Scofton, which was home to the number 18 operational training unit of the RAF between September 1943 and December 1944, with various aircraft there, including the Miles Martinets, Airspeed Oxfords and Curtiss Tomahawks, used in the facility as a training base, sadly closed in 1960. A few minutes walk further on brings you into the Osberton Estate, home of the world-famous international horse trials that are held there every May and October, a jewel in the sporting calendar of Nottinghamshire, and a fantastic family day out that attracts around 7,000 visitors to each event, bringing much-needed money into our local economy. If you've not been, I'd highly recommend a visit. The work on the solar farm had concluded late last year, and I've been inundated with requests from constituents and the wider community to try and get the Bridleway open again, because it had given an extended closure order which was due to run until August this year. I spoke to Neil Lewis, the Countryside Access Manager, whom I have a wonderful working relationship along with Councillor Wheatcroft, and asked him if he could do anything to help. He came back to me very quickly after working with a landowner and gave me a date of June the 30th to get the bridleway would be open and the general public could access these wonderful areas so close to us. But the news got a bit better. A few days later, he came back to me on the 17th of June.
Councillor, it's 2 minutes.
And that's it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you.
There's my 30-second warning. Sorry, mate.
Councillor Sue Saddington regarding progress on the former Mother Sutton School site.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Aram, Kellam and Staithorpe, 3 small villages in my Farndon and Trent division. So small, they have no green areas where they can plant a tree, enjoy a village event, erect a Christmas tree and sing carols around it. To some, this may not be important, but for these 3 villages, there is no way and nowhere for them to come together as one. For several years, I've looked around for any spare land which could be made available to them. At the time of our former Queen's Platinum celebration, the villagers planted a tree. The only piece of land available was outside Staithorpe Power Station. We planted the tree, the ground was so poor, the tree died. The former Manners Sutton Primary School in Aram closed on August the 31st, 2021, following dwindling pupil numbers. The 1.2 acre site has remained vacant ever since. I saw an opportunity to perhaps allow the community to have half the land and houses to be built on the other half. At the time, Councillor Sam Smith was leader of the council and I discussed my thoughts with him, and he immediately gave me his full support. Over the last 3 years, I have moved this idea forward. We are now close to half the land being handed over
Councillor,
to the
you've got
High
30 seconds, ma'am. Yeah.
This is a group formed to take over the fundraising with a view to building a centre which would be for community use and also an outside area for events. I am assured from the property department that the acquisition of this land is imminent. On behalf of the community, I'm delighted that once was my thoughts now appear to be coming to fruition. It's been a long journey, but at last I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Wait, it's 2
My thanks to Councillor Sam Smith for his
It's 2
unwavering
minutes, ma'am.
support
Yes.
and to Nottinghamshire County Council
It's
Property
2
Department.
minutes. Yes. It's gone. Yes, you need to. Thank you. I'll now call on Councillor Kelvin Wright regarding road safety and illegal racing issues in his division.
Mr. Chair, thank you. I rise to speak on behalf of the residents of the St Anne's Estate in Worksop South. Since my election in May, I've received numerous complaints from residents about illegal car meetings on the A57 near the Starbucks roundabout. These events are organised at very short notice through social media, making them hard for the police to disrupt. The consequences are serious. Motorists have reported dangerous driving and near misses. Staff at the nearby garage have experienced abuse and antisocial behaviour. Residents who have challenged those involved have been subjected to intimidation and threats. I want to be clear, I recognise the challenge the police face. By the time these meetings are happening, the police intelligence is too late, they arrive, the meeting has gone. This is why I'm asking for a genuine multidisciplinary approach. I'd like the council, through Highways, to bring together the police and crime commissioner, Bassett Law District Council's antisocial behaviour teams and the environmental health teams, along with local councillors and any other relevant partners to develop a coordinated strategy. If we continue to treat this as a series of isolated incidents, we will continue to get isolated, i.e. negligible results. Working together gives us the best opportunity to identify practical measures, reduce the impact on residents, and most importantly, prevent someone from being seriously injured or killed. This request is currently being supported by an active petition that's already attracted over 300 residents, which pretty much accounts for the entire estate. I hope the council will support this going forward.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Can I call on Councillor John Wilmot, please, regarding grass coating, highways maintenance and street lighting in your division, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I must first remind the council how important it is to keep the street lights working, especially with the number of muggings, rapings and other related crime taking place on the streets in our towns. On the 21st of April 2026, Mr. M sent me an email informing me of a street light not working on Church Lane near the level crossing in Hucknall, a dangerous area not to have lighting because of the trains rushing by. 3 emails later, the light is still not working. You could assume that repairs are needed to put things right. Now, the resident is telling me the lights have not worked for months. Time to get our act together. No street lights working for 6 months before being attended is to be unacceptable. Now we come to the open land at the side of Titchfield Street in Hucknall. 12 months ago, I emailed the council about the overgrown state of the land, and yes, I saw county vehicles on the side. I thought, I'm going to get the land cleared of rubbish. But alas, following day, it seemed that the vehicles had disappeared and the land had not been touched. It is county council land with small trees growing from the concrete and the river running through the land, clogged up with weeds, rubble and iron gates stuck in the vegetation, with sharp ends sticking up through the weeds ready to injure someone. Now, I can remember many years ago the brook running through this land flooded after heavy rainfall and flooded the high street, causing many thousands of pounds of damage. Now, with the extreme weather we are having at present, it is a possibility of further flooding taking place with terrible consequences. Please can we have this area cleared now? Now we have 2 housing estates being built on it, Vaughan Estate and Wiggy Farm in Hucknall, on former county council land.
You've got 30 seconds, sir.
30 seconds.
Oh, thank you. And lorries are leaving sand and grit on the streets and pavements surrounding the area, from vehicles continually delivering goods to the site. The residents on Vaughan Estate are already suffering from noise, fumes, continual goings in from house to house, and never-ending lorries on top of the filthy streets and the pavements are a hazard that must be put in as the little thought of the residents of the problems. Now I come to the roads themselves. Although there's been some improvement in the road maintenance, many potholes have been repaired, continue to break up, and I've made inspections on 22 roads.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Honestly, you spoke fast though, you did well.
Can I call on Councillor Mike Robertson, sir? Oh, sorry. Councillor Kurt Gillen, sorry. Regarding
Chairman.
road safety,
Chairman,
including...
how many more complaints do we need? How many more near misses? How many more injuries before we accept that illegal motorbikes and electric scooters are no longer a simple annoyance? They are a serious threat to public safety. Across Nottinghamshire, and in particular in Newark West Division, residents tell us the same story. Illegal bikes tearing through streets, electric scooters racing along pavements, riders ignoring red lights, intimidating pedestrians and showing little or no regard for the law or for anyone else's safety. Our pavements are for people, not racetracks for illegal vehicles. Only recently, another young man was seriously injured in an electric scooter collision. It is a sobering reminder that reckless riding doesn't just endanger the public, it also destroys young lives and devastates families. Residents rightly ask, where is the enforcement? They report repeated offenders, yet the same individuals are often seen back on our streets within days. That inevitably creates a perception that those breaking the law have little or no fear. I appreciate the Nottinghamshire Police have competing demands and finite resources, but the public are entitled to expect visible action against persistent offenders. The law already exists. What residents want to see is enforcement consistently and robustly. I also believe that Nottinghamshire District Council must do their part to tackle antisocial behaviour that is often associated and accompanies this problem. This is not simply a highways issue or a police issue.
30 seconds, sir.
It is a community safety issue. Too often agencies appear to work in isolation whilst residents are left feeling that nobody is taking ownership. Communities should not have to tolerate public spaces being dominated by small minorities who believe the rules do not apply to them. Families should not have to step out onto the road to avoid illegal scooters on the pavement. Older residents should not feel frightened to walk to the local shops. We need strong partnership working between Nottinghamshire Police, Newcastle District Council and Nottinghamshire County
Councillor,
Council in
your
our
time
local
is up,
communities.
sir.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Calling Councillor Mike Robertson regarding the inconsistency of the home to school transport policy within the rural Mr. Turn division, sir.
Thank you, Chair. The home to school transport policy is not working for residents of the Misterton division. As I mentioned repeatedly, we're a rural area with limited public transport. Over the decades of educational reform, we've lost our regional secondary school, leaving all our children having to travel to large distances to get to secondary schools now located in the larger market towns in the wider geographical area. 2 minutes is not enough time to fully detail how badly this policy is failing my residents, but I'll share a couple of examples. First, Mizzen, a village to the north of the county which is surrounded by South Yorkshire. The policy would push children towards Silby Park in Burcoats, which would be 2 bus journeys to get to. However, if parents wanted to send their children to Retford Oaks, which would be 1 journey on the 27 bus, as it's not the catchment school, and to get there, you would have to cross the county boundary. They can't get the concessionary pass, so parents would have to foot a £6 per day cost to choose the more logical option to get the children to school on the basis of travel. The second, Ayton, where residents live equidistant between Retford Oaks and Elizabethan, with both schools covering Hayton for their catchment area. Although there is equidistance, parents would only attract home school support for 1 school. Yet this isn't even applied properly, with older siblings at 1 school attracting the support, but the younger sibling applying for that same school not being able to attract the transport support. To conclude, the policy does not work for the rural areas, which are the areas most challenged when getting children to secondary schools.
Councillor, 30 seconds, sir.
I have therefore asked for the overview committee to consider it as part of their work programme and hopefully bring a more balanced approach to support children in rural areas getting to secondary school. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Councillor Mike Robertson. I'm going to call on Councillor Mike Adams regarding the impact buses are having on highways and Bottom Joyce.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, Main Street, Burton Joyce has 2 pinch points, creating at points a single track road. At one end caused by Victorian terraced houses with no off-street parking, at the other end caused by the Croc Dumble stream. That forces, as a result of that location, forces people over to the inbound highway. This causes big congestion problems. The issue we have now, of course, is that MCA takes responsibility for the buses, which now means we can't have the same discussion in the same room with our own council about buses and highways. The other day, traffic was at gridlock in the standoff between a bus driver and a workman. The police were eventually called and inspectors from NCT arrived to reverse the bus. A scheme to add double yellows offered a solution, will not fix the issue and just annoy residents. We need to bring the pieces of the puzzle together in one room, consult with residents on moving the bus to the A612 permanently, only letting it enter the centre of the village on Main Street in 2 newly created one-ways to solve the problem long term. I've been working in the background for a long time on this issue, but I do want to bring it to the council's attention in the public forum because we need to get it done and we need to get it done soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mike Adams. Thank you for that. Can I call on Leader Councillor Sam Smith regarding A46 through his division, Leader of the Conservative?
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to add this council's outrage at the Labour government's decision to cut the A46 dualling project. That not only impacts my division of Newark East, but it impacts most divisions on this side of the room. If you live in Farndon, Winthorpe, Newark town itself, Bingham, up to Bassett Law, you go through that A46 daily, whether that's to visit friends and family or for work, and you get stuck. And if there is a show on at the showground, good luck getting out of Collingham and Winthorpe to enjoy your day out with your family. You simply can't. You've got Councillor Saddington struggling with the railway line and barrier there. It is a complete nightmare. And for people in the Labour government to say, oh, it's just an infrastructure project, it's just a road, and then come out and say, but we want to boost the economy, we want to create jobs. The two don't add up. It's a complete nonsense. By getting this infrastructure project in, we are helping businesses in Newark grow, creating jobs for my constituents and those right across Newark by attracting more customers into the town, and that allows jobs to be created. It is an utter disgrace. £900 million the East Midlands lost out on last week. £900 million. I'm very grateful for East Midlands councils agreeing to my resolution to reject Labour's offer and to support the East Midlands Mayor, who, to be fair to her, is doing a good job fighting against this. And I just call upon Nottinghamshire County Council, Mr Chairman, to lean into that work, support East Midlands Council, support the Mayor and support Newark members to get this road project finally done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yes, so we've got through that quite in time. So we'll go on to agenda number 6A, presentation of petitions. I was notified of 9 petitions by the deadline. May I remind members again, there is a 1 minute time limit for the presentation of each petition, and there is a maximum time limit of 15 minutes for these items. I will now call on Councillor Roger Upton. Please present your petition requesting a residence parking scheme on Sydney Grove, Ratcliffe-on-Trent, sir.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I will be presenting a petition, as you say, on behalf of some of the residents of Sydney Grove, Ratcliffe-on-Trent, for a residence parking scheme. To give it context, Sydney Grove is a relatively short cul-de-sac built turn of the last century, Victorian, Edwardian houses, built before the age of the motor car, no off-street parking or very little, and particularly of late with the expansion of Radcliffe, the population, more and more cars, allegations that people park their car on Sydney Grove and catch the bus for Nottingham and leave it there all day. It's become a problem for the people who actually live on Sydney Grove, and this petition is signed by some of them asking for a residence parking scheme to try and help them park their cars on the road near where they live. That's really it, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, Councillor. Thank you. Thank you. I call on Councillor Don Justice to please present your petition requesting a speed limit rate reduction on Nottingham Road, Underwood. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'm pleased to present this petition of 191 signatures to full council, outlining a request to reduce the speed limit on the B600 between Larch Close in Underwood and Annesley Lane in Selston from 40 to 30 miles an hour. The 40-mile-an-hour limit covers a steep section of road which is less than a mile long. Drivers accelerate into the 40 zone and don't always slow down for the 30 zones, leading to speeding along the length of the road. Residents would like to see a consistent speed of 30 miles an hour along the whole length of the road to help regulate speed generally. This is a residential road. Residents of some terraced houses along the road have to cross the road many times a day in the 40 zone to access their parking facilities. The lead petitioner has sent me an email outlining residents' experiences on the road, which I've enclosed with the petition. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now call on Councillor James Walker-Gully. Please present your petition requesting a pedestrian crossing and warning lights near Florence Nightingale Academy.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to present this petition on behalf of the local parents regarding the lack of a school crossing patrol and the ongoing safety concerns outside the Florence Nightingale Academy in Eastwood. Residents are frustrated that the crossing patrol has been advertised over 2 years without being filled. They're asking the council to consider alternative safety measures. Parents have raised concerns about near misses, injuries, and the general danger faced by children and families crossing the road. They also point out that a former crossing patrol member was involved in a collision near the school, highlighting the risks at this location. The petition is asking the council to review the situation, consider what further measures can be put in place before a more serious incident occurs. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Councillor. I'm going to call on Councillor David Smith. Please present your 2 petitions regarding removal of speed ramps and common lane Plesley and reduction of speed limit and removal of dedicated school transport as well. Thank you.
Chair? Yeah. I've got two petitions. Can I do both of them together, Chair?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Right, the first petition is about Common Lane, Plesley, Vale, extending the 30 miles an hour speed limit past Northfield Lane Junction by 30 metres. Past Northfield Lane to Plesley Vale is very hazardous and very dangerous place to get out. I would therefore ask the council to undertake a formal review of the current speed limit on Common Lane. Assess the road user by pedestrians, cyclists and horses. Consider introducing a 30 mile an hour speed limit. The Road Traffic Regulation 1984. Ensure that appropriate enforcement measures are put in place to improve the compliance of the road safety, to mark the new speed limit by using repeaters and not street lights. I believe a reduced speed limit would significantly improve safety for all users of the road and help prevent serious collisions and injuries. I will go to my next one now. The second one, petition the removal of delegated bus services to Catholic schools. Many pupils attending Catholic schools travel considerable distance in order to access these provision of All Saints alone. Some students travel daily from Worksop, Newark and surrounding villages. This issues the effects of Catholic schools across Nottinghamshire. Catholic education is far more academic achievement and provides a historic education central to faith values. Moral development, compassion services and community families consciously choose Catholic schools because of the offer and distance, ethic roots to Christian teaching and spiritual development of the child. Removing the indicate bus services to Catholic schools would jeopardise the safety, well-being, education, equipment, opportunities.
We're out of time.
Of thousands of children across Nottinghamshire.
Thumbs up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Down.
I'll call on Councillor Andy McCormack. Please present your petition requesting to close off the end of a service road that runs parallel to the A60 at Vale Avenue end. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This petition is about closing off the end of the service road that runs parallel to the A60 at the Vale Avenue end in Walsall. From 9th of February to the end of June 26, traffic lights are being installed at that junction and a diversionary route established. Not used in the service road, but was open to use as a shortcut. On March the 7th, a 60-plus-year-old lady was struck and pinned to the side of a transit-sized van parked on this service road, fracturing multiple ribs, pelvis and collarbone. The person driving then left the scene driving dangerously, and there has been damage to the vehicle because the service road isn't as wide as the standard carriageway. Fire did erect some barrier to a great effect to make the area a lot safer. I think the council should close the end of the service road permanently at the Vale Avenue end.
Thank you. Andy? Thank you. Thank you very much. I will now call on Councillor Neil Clark, MBE. Please present your petition regarding Cropwell Butler Highways.
Thank you, Chairman. Pleasure in presenting a petition on behalf of 152 signatories in the village of Cropwell Butler in my division, which represents a majority of the residents of Cropwell Butler, and it's asking for urgent action on the deteriorating road infrastructure in Cropwell Butler, and in particular implementing permanent long-term repair strategy for the village roads. And that includes examples like patchwork maintenance and also excessive traffic and rat running and the deterioration of the edges of the roads due to heavy vehicles as well. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, sir. I will now call on Councillor Mike Robertson. Please present your petition requesting a school hall at Everton Primary School.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I spoke about this in a constituency speech at the last full council, and since then we, alongside Councillor Mick Barton, my fantastic council leader, invited the school council, along with the amazing head Andrew Green and other staff members, to come to County Hall, present Councillor Barton with letters of petition that they had written within their persuasive writing sessions, requesting the school hall. So I would now like to present them to you, Chair, to further that request. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chair.
You're welcome. Thank you. I now call on Councillor Jody Stall. Please present your petition requesting a 20-mile speed limit through Woodrow Main Street. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'm pleased to present this petition on behalf of residents of Woodborough, led by a very active resident, Craig Levers, calling for the introduction of a 20 miles per hour speed limit along the full length of Main Street, which is the central road that runs through the village. As I said, we've got 233 signatures from local residents who have raised ongoing concerns about the safety. Main Street is a very narrow and winding road. The footpaths are very narrow or in some places non-existent. I've mentioned this before at full council and at overview and at cabinet, and basically vehicles travel at excessive speed very often along this road, particularly when the shift at the nearby prison finishes. Residents are concerned that these factors create an unnecessary risk of accidents and likely death in the future if nothing is done. So I'll present this petition to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I will now ask the council to resolve that the petitions be referred to the appropriate cabinet members for consideration. A report will be brought back to the council in due course in accordance with standing orders. All those in favour, please. It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We'll just move on from there. It's carried. I'm going to agenda 6B, responses to petitions presented to the chairman of the county council. I move that the contents of the report and the actions approved be noted. Are there any speakers on this item? Councillor Robertson. Yes. Yeah. Councillor Robertson, please. You can start.
Thank you, Chair. A very quick point in relation to the petition that I submitted. It's at section M, starts paragraph 110, references 2026/13. Now, it was a petition that was very well organised by residents of Walkeringham, and the petition was requesting that the planned roadworks, and I put planned in there with a bit of elongation, the planned roadworks be delivered as early within the capital programme as possible because of the deteriorating state of the road. However, the response was to tell me that it's in the capital programme. Now, I know I'm northern and I speak with a northern accent, so some people may assume intelligence from that, but I can read a capital programme and I can see that the works that were already planned. We were appealing, and residents have raised this petition at their own expense through change.org, got a large number of signatures, and the response from officers is to tell me what's already in the capital plan, not answering the question of the petition. So I would just like to raise that point because I think it does smart with residents that we've asked a specific question and got a response that does not meet that question. So I just wanted to highlight that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mike Robertson. Thank you for that. I will now call on Councillor Richard Butler, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. A similar point, actually. I had a petition, item G, from Kinolton and Hickling, and residents, 567 people signed this within days. I mean, literally, within less than a week, they signed this. And I'm very grateful for the response that's come into the minutes and the report, which, as you probably know, this forms the same sort of basis that the person who organised the petition gets. They get the letter saying what the outcome is. I have to say, the lady who raised this petition is a very sensible lady, very intelligent, very nice lady. And she got the letter and she got in touch with me. She said, yes, but what does it mean? And when you read through the various paragraphs, one moment you're sort of feeling really hopeful. Yes, we're going to get Hickling Lane and the other roads in Kinolton and Hickling repaired. But then it goes on to refer to the future capital programmes. Oh, well, will it be in this one, won't it? So I think the point that we need to make here is, and I'd appreciate this is a fine balance. It's never easy to get out of council speak and get into normal speak that the public will appreciate. But I think we need to give a little bit more thought about how we actually explain what are we going to do, or what is our actual response to the petition, without perhaps going into too much detail, but also unintentionally causing some fear and uncertainty that in one paragraph it says it's in the 26-29 programme, but then in another paragraph it says it refers to items being considered for future programmes. Now, on this particular case, I am quite hopeful it is going to be in the 26-29 programme because I've looked at the published plan. I'm a bit disappointed. It suggests it might not be until the very end of that period, 2029. So I think I might be having to have nice words with Councillor Bingham, but that's a separate point. But really, my point being, Mr. Chairman, is there's a lot of information to take in here. It's not just us as councillors reading it, it's the public reading it, and we need to keep it nice and very clear for them. So, but thank you again for the response. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Butler, for that. I'll call on Councillor Lee, please.
Chairman, thank you very much. And can I just start by saying, again, you are chairing a superb meeting.
Thank you, sir.
The change in these meetings since you have took over have been outstanding. Let me get to my point. Is I submitted a petition at the last council meeting. I've not had a response. What time frame am I expected to be waiting, please?
Thank you, Councillor Lee. The leaders will come back to you on that. Thank you. Can I call on Councillor Brown, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to comment on two petitions I presented several months ago. Item J, a petition to reduce the speed limit on Loughborough Road in Ruddington from 40 to 30 miles an hour. 166 people signed the petition who live along that road, Loughborough Road in Ruddington, which has been turned down. Moved down to the next village of Bradmore. It's strange, similar circumstances. They requested the same thing a year ago, and it is now 30 miles an hour. What is the difference between Ruddington and Bradmore? Go along to the next village of Bunny. It's 30 miles an hour through the A60 Loughborough Road there as well, which everybody knows. If you travel through Bunny a lot, it seems to be a permanent home for the police camera van as well, catching people going quicker than 30 miles an hour. My point is, the residents of Loughborough Road in Ruddington are very disappointed with the outcome, and they cannot understand why it's good for two other villages but not for theirs. I also moved to another petition, item K, to reduce the speed limit along Milton Road in Sutton Bonington, and also to install a footpath along that road, which has also been turned down. The request in there for a footpath, that road is actually part of the Mid-Shires Way, so it does attract quite a lot of walkers, but there's nowhere for them to walk. It's a very windy country road, and people do tend to speed down there. So again, on behalf of all the people that petitioned, just to show their disappointment and frustration in this council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Brown. Thank you very much for that presentation. Can I call on Councillor Golan, please, to present a statement?
Thank you. I want to comment on the petition, my petition from residents about parking in Crosby Road. Probably the biggest matter in my inbox is about parking in the area around Crosby Road and Ella Road. It's particularly affected by cricket and parking at the cricket and the city grounds, but this is not a city ground problem, and I do not understand why the solution to these residents' problem is being using the money that will come from forests and redevelopment. This is a problem that exists now. It's nothing to do with forests. It happens all the time. The problem has been made significantly worse for these residents by the introduction by the County Council of shoppers parking in central West Bridgeford. And one of the points in the response is that introducing residents parking in this area will move parking elsewhere. Well, I beg to ask where, because nearly everywhere else around them has been turned into either shoppers parking or residents parking. I think there will be more petitions in this area. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you very much. I'll call on Councillor Neil Clark, please, MBE.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to refer to item F on page 32 regarding petition which Councillor Pearson and myself presented on behalf of the residents of Barnton and Langer. The road in question goes through both our divisions, and it is pleasing to note that the repairs are included in the schedule and hopefully are being brought forward. So that does show that presenting petitions on behalf of residents do add that extra support. Councillor Pearson and I have been asking for these badly needed road repairs, and so it's good that they are now coming to the fore. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Councillor Clark. I'll call on Councillor Bingham, sir, to respond to this. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'll keep it as brief as possible. Petitions generally, the majority are on highways, and there can be various matters: parking, speeding, transport and others. It does affect the time frame for responses because some of them can be complex. So each one is treated individually in that respect. I would remind everybody that we've just announced a record investment in Nottinghamshire Highways this year, and there's been a vast amount of resources applied to getting that programme started and underway. And a thanks to the officers and delivery partners at Via for that. You'll say, what's that got to do with the future programmes? Well, obviously it impacts immensely because we have effectively delivered or are delivering on that massive investment. Recently, we've reconsidered the policy or an interpretation on these highways petitions, and we're becoming more safety-led. But we've still got to have focus on our budget. We've got to be prudent, responsible, etc. So we can't forget that everybody's solution can't be provided today. Anybody who is disappointed can come back to us at any time. We've noted the report, but our door is always open, Councillor Siemens and myself, and we're happy to discuss them further. They don't always have to be high-cost schemes, and we are happy to look at them, but I will repeat, safety-led, but very budget accountable. And that's it, really. That's all I've got to say today. So I look forward to seeing and hearing from quite a few of you. Thank you. Yeah.
But thank you, Councillor Bingham. Thank you for that. Okay. Yes.
You've got your last sentence there. This thing of recording.
So we'll go on. This is to note that the report has been received by the Chamber, and I want to say thank you to all of you who have spoken so far. Thank you very much. We'll now move on quickly to agenda number 7, Governance and Ethics Committee Annual Report 2025 to 2026. Before we start this item, may I remind members that the mover and seconder of the motion have up to 5 minutes to speak. And the mover has 5 minutes to reply at the end of the debate as well. All other speakers have 3 minutes, including any members having an amendment. I will now call upon Councillor Wendy Lukacs to introduce the report and move the recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I am pleased to present the Audit and Governance Committee Annual Report for 2025-26, together with a summary of work undertaken by the committee during the year. The report demonstrates the important role the committee plays in providing assurance to the Council and the public that robust governance, risk management, financial management and ethical standards are in place and operating effectively. Throughout the year, the committee has maintained oversight of internal and external audit activity, the Council's statement of accounts, corporate risk management arrangements, counter-fraud works, complaints and Ombudsman's findings, and matters relating to members' conduct and governance. In addition, the committee has continued to support ongoing review and development of the Council's constitution. Members have considered opportunities to strengthen the Council's governance framework, ensuring that constitutional arrangements remain clear, robust and responsive to the needs of the authority and its decision-making processes. Among the committee's key achievements this year were overseeing the continued strengthening of the Council's internal control framework, supporting the development of assurance mapping, continuous audit arrangements, monitoring delivery of the Council's counter-fraud programme, overseeing the introduction of the revised risk management framework and approving statement of accounts and annual government statements within the required timescales. The committee has also continued to promote transparency and accountability through its consideration of Ombudsman's decisions, complaints and governance matters, ensuring that lessons are learned and improvements are implemented where necessary. I would like to place on record my thanks to committee members, officers, internal audit and our external auditors for their professionalism, commitment and support throughout the year. Their contribution has helped to maintain strong governance arrangements and uphold the high standards expected of this council. I therefore commend the annual report to council and invite members to note the achievements of the Audit and Governance Committee during 25-26 and its proposed areas of focus for the coming year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox, for that. We're very grateful for that recommendation you just made. I'll call upon Councillor Paul Brill to second the motion, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm very happy to second the motion. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. I will now open the debate for us to speak about it. Sir? Councillor Pearson, please. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm afraid I can't let this report pass without highlighting one particular issue, the Constitution review that's referred to on page 51. The work of the Governance and Ethics shouldn't really be controversial, but I have to say, in terms of this item, it was considered twice by the committee. The first time around it was rejected, and then, frankly, it was somewhat steamrolled through on the second occasion in somewhat controversial circumstances. As a result, we have a situation where, of course, no supplementary oral questions are permitted to portfolio holders, and the period for discussing a number of motions has been substantially cut back. We saw earlier this morning that a number of members on both sides of this chamber had their time to speak about constituency issues cut back, such that they were left without being able to fully put their point over. I think that irrespective of whichever party's in power, this is a great shame. And in the opinion of members on this side of the House, it reduces the ability to hold the administration to account. And that is a great pity. What I would like to hope is that in the future we can review these changes, because frankly, I think some of them create a democratic deficit within this authority, which is really not acceptable. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pearson. Thank you for that. Councillor Lee, please.
Chairman, thank you very much. It goes to show that they just don't get what the Governance and Ethics Committee is. So I was the Vice Chairman, and the Governance and Ethics Committee don't have achievements. You don't have achievements because the point of your committee is you are a scrutiny committee. That's what governance and ethics is. You are there to scrutinise the governance of the council, if you agree with it or not. It's not your job to make it easier for the controlling group. Your job is to scrutinise the controlling group. And when it comes to audit and finance, again, your job is to scrutinise that committee. So when you're standing up by saying our achievements, no, you don't have achievements. And I've got to be honest, I've been looking at this committee with a close eye, as you'd expect from the past Vice Chairman. And I've got to admit is they're not doing any scrutiny. What they feel like to me that they are doing is trying to make it easier for their mates in their committee to not answer questions, to not to be held to account. And that's exactly what you're doing. And I'm not surprised, really. You only have to look at the national picture now to know that you are falling apart. You have got Count Binface, who is probably going to beat you at the by-election. You've got Robert Jemrick, who is now reported in New York Advertiser this morning, has been reported to the police and being investigated. And you've got Nigel Farage, who is refusing to answer questions about money that he's being given. So I'm not surprised you've got the Chairman of Governance and Ethics that is trying to make the life of their committee easy. Now, when
can we just stick to the facts, what we're talking about here? Let's leave out Generic and the rest of them. Let's just stick to...
And you can feel the energy from your group has completely disappeared. Half of you are leaving because you can't defend yourselves. It's great. What I need to do is talk next time because they all leave and then we'll put it to the vote. Yeah, because they've all gone. But what we have seen is a chairman of scrutiny that is unwilling to hold your own leadership to account. When I was the vice chairman, we held this council to account. No matter who was in charge, we held you to account. And most of the time, we did have members of the executive come and speak to us beforehand and say, do you mind if you're not too harsh on us this meeting? We're like, no, we're holding you to account because that is our job.
Councillor,
and you are not holding yourselves to account. And I just want to put on record that we do have a bin in the office. We are not endorsing Camp Bin Face. It's just a normal bin. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Lee, but please, let's stick to the facts. We don't have to go into any other story after what exactly we're talking about as we go forward. So we can get out of the day and go to other things, because we all know the weather is not very favourable today. Councillor Clooney, please, could you speak? Thank you.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to make another point about the constitution review as well, and how detrimental I think it is to be closing down debate in this chamber. We know Reform are the leading group. They have lots of chance to say things. As other members on the other side, we often don't get much chance to say things, and this is a really important time for us to say things, particularly with the constituency issues. It was obvious that people were having to garble what they wanted to say. It was hard to hear what people had to say, and I think that's an accessibility issue. It was hard to hear what people said because they had to say it in 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Clooney. Councillor Goland, please, could you speak? Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, Councillor Lee, I agree with you about the mayor chairing, but then I think you slightly took advantage of that just now. But anyhow, moving on. Moving on, I do agree absolutely with you and with you that the constitutional changes, we'll see how it works, but I have a suspicion we will be going home by 3, and I'm not sure that's what the residents pay us for to be here. I'd also like to ask a question about the audits. I'd like to know, because I can't see it here, maybe it is here, but I can't see it. So I'm not suggesting they haven't, but I'd like to know if they've been achieved on time for this council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Yes, Councillor Lawson, please. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I do speak from a certain amount of knowledge on this committee because I set it up. And a lot of the processes that are in place are due to, in no uncertain terms, to my leadership. But I do make the point, one of the first responses that came back from the external auditor was that the Reform administration were politicising the Governance and Ethics Committee, and that were a fault because they did so. And I did think that when Councillor Lucas took over this committee, she would take cognizance of that advice from the external auditor. And to start off with, she did. But the Constitutional Working Party and the changes made to the Constitution basically ripped up that thought process and proved yet again that this Reform administration have politicised the Governance and Ethics Committee. And that, unfortunately, is to its detriment and also to the detriment of the Reform administration. And I think some of it is born out of the fact that they are scared of scrutiny, and that's quite a natural reaction. But they should have grown out of that thought process by now. And I implore Councillor Lucas not to go down that route again. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Lawson. Thank you very much for that. I would call on Councillor Robertson, please, to speak.
Thank you, Chair. Just a few points of reflection as well as a couple of points on the constitutional change. I didn't get to speak in the last debate for whatever reason. It got curtailed early. But yeah, in terms of the constitutional speeches, I think everyone knows I'm a serial constitutional speecher, if that's the correct term. So I try to sell the Misterton division at every full council meeting that I can. It's not self-indulgent. I'm here to represent the Misterton division. I thought 3 minutes probably was a good time
2 minutes, possibly a little bit short, but let's see how it plays out. I had enough time to plan my speech this morning. I delivered it coherently, hopefully accessibly as well, within 2 minutes. So I think some members may have got caught out with the change of time, as opposed to, you know, not being able to plan a speech properly. With regards to questions, I'm quite interested to see how the written supplementaries go, because in the debate, I did note this down in my notes, there wasn't one contributor, apart from Councillor Lucas, who actually pointed out that supplementary questions did not get published in the minutes nor the response. So the accessibility to those questions and answers was only through YouTube. And if you look at the viewership of YouTube, I think it's myself and Councillor Smith who probably bumped those numbers up looking at each other. Yeah, Andy's mum. So it's not an overly accessible way of people seeing the responses to supplementary questions. And I do know, I did a bit of research on this. One of the lead questions that came from Councillor Neil Clark, MBE, was set up in a way just asking the cabinet member for Edam, do you agree with the best value principle of, you know, sort of asset sales? And the response was yes. That was what was published in the minutes. We didn't even get to see the response that Councillor Clark had set him up for. So, you know, I think there will be some good comes out of the written supplementaries, because, you know, then we're actually seeing the responses to them. So I'm excited about seeing that. The other thing I'd say about questions as well, because I did a lot of research on this because I'm quite sad, I went over the last year's meetings. Now, there's, and if I do my maths correctly, there is...
You've got 30 seconds.
Yeah, there's 15 members, both cabinet and cabinet members and chairs, who can be asked questions, but 7 didn't get questions asked of them. I, as the Health Scrutiny Chair, got 1 question from Councillor Cullen, and it got timed out. So I didn't get the opportunity to, you know, waffle a little bit more. So, you know, I am hoping that potentially questions might get expanded out to more people than just a narrow number of committee members.
Councillor, your time is
there you go. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. It's all right. We'll go on to Councillor Sargentine, please.
Thank you, Chairman. I concur with the thoughts of Councillor Lee completely. I was elected to be here to speak on behalf of my residents, not for you lot to cut it down to 2 minutes for a constituency speech. So you either have to leave part out or gabble it through that nobody can hear. If that's democracy, then we will publicise it. We are here to speak, not to be shut up, in other words, by you. We need to speak, we need to say what our residents' concerns are. And it's just been said by Councillor Robertson that the supplementary questions were never in the rule book, in the minute book. Can I ask then, if we write a supplementary question, if that will go into the minute book? Because if not, there's still no record of it. So don't try and put an argument forward that actually isn't right. We need to go back to a 3-minute speech. And the only reason you don't like supplementaries is because you wait for officers to write your answers. You don't get up on your feet. Get some confidence and stand up on your feet and get to know your subject.
Thank you, Councillor Sargentine, for that well thought out statement. Thank you. Can I call on Councillor Smeaton?
Thank you, Chairman. I thought Reform wanted to shorten the meetings. Well, here's an idea. Get rid of this report, because there's absolutely no need for it whatsoever. If you look at the start date, July 25, so there's 2 months missing there of absolutely nothing from this Reform administration. And then the only achievement to date, you didn't need this appendix, double-sided, it's nonsense. The only achievement to date of this Reform administration through governance and ethics has been set out by my colleagues excellently, and Councillor Lee, is to strip democracy from this council. Absolutely strip democracy. Get rid of verbal supplementaries because you don't want to set policy. You let officers set it for you and you read out the script, which we hope will be in the minutes going forward. cut down the amount of times we can speak about
Speak to me, sir.
constituency issues, so that the voices of residents is ignored and pushed down, because why would we want to listen to residents? That's what the message of the Reform Administration is. And I'm afraid it's absolutely ridiculous. We'll see the constituency speeches item didn't work today. Didn't work. Half of the people got cut off. Paul Russell, I didn't even know the ending point of his thing. Did he get it? Did he get his scheme sorted or not? We only got to the second stage of that. It's a nonsense, and it's stripping away the representation of residents right across Nottinghamshire, and that's shameful. It really is shameful. I think going forward, the work programme in this appendix hasn't been published post March 26, because obviously we're only looking at a year. But let's work on some tweaks to the Constitution, which will probably mean that we need more time to speak in constituency items. We're yet to see if the motions is going to work or not, but I don't think 45 minutes is long enough. Again, you want to shorten the meetings, don't bring pointless things like this, which mean absolutely nothing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor. I call on Councillor Wilmot, please, to speak.
Thank you, Chairman. Obviously, a very important part of this authority is scrutinising the delivery of the projects, and it is absolutely essential that those every item, if it's needed to be scrutinised, should be scrutinised. I'd just like to remind you that at the last council, before this one, scrutiny was one of their priorities, because they actually had opposition on the chairs, as vice chairs, which was a great responsibility for everybody to be able to talk about their issues themselves. Can I say, in my constituency speech, all those items I brought up, and there was another 7 that unfortunately couldn't do because of that I try and get about into my community, and these people talk to me. People in my constituency talk to me and want these issues aired to see what is going to happen about them. And if I can't get the speeches out, then it's no longer a situation where we're all happy with. I'm sure, but I'm sure that the reform team, there's a lot of very influential people, and you are, many of you are very, very intelligent. I understand that and situation, but they are many of them are very intelligent, but the position is that I think they were railroaded into this decision about the scrutiny. So, as I say, scrutiny is most important, and it must be one of the priorities of this council. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Councillor Wilmot. I'll call on Councillor James Gawley, sir, to speak.
Thank you, Chairman. I think the other side of the chamber, they're not very good with accepting change. We're in power. You guys are terrible at accepting change. You need to get quicker when holding us to account. Things are changing. It's not the end of the world. Just get used to it. You don't set policy anymore on your own. If you want to get better at that, you need to learn how to negotiate and work with us. It's simple. The constituency
James
speeches.
Gawley, can you just please align with what we're talking about?
Sorry, Chair. The constituency speeches was the first time that we've done it this time. So it's a brand new thing. It will get better over time. We need to get quicker. That's on all of us, both sides. As far as if you want to get quicker, stay on topic. Stop talking about Count Bimface and all this nonsense. You say you care about the residents and it's about scrutiny. Seriously, just stay on topic. Sam, you mentioned about working together and doing tweaks and stuff. We're all going to do that. So yeah, we'll crack on with that when it's done.
Thank you, Councillor Walker-Gawley. Thank you very much, sir. I call on Councillor Mason, please, to speak.
Good afternoon. Oh, because we're there. Good morning, Council. I can never remember which part we're in. From what I recall, the previous constitution said we had 3 minutes per speech, and it lasted for 15 minutes. which by my maths gets 5 people to speak. There's 65 of us in this room. If you want constituency issues with only 5 members at a time, it's going to take you nearly a year if we went on rotation. I know some people will make regularly. At the moment, we've got 2 minutes speeches in 20 minutes. So I reckon if we actually kept to time, we get 10 of us speaking. Now, I don't know about reducing democracy. I think it's just more equaling it out for more areas rather than we have 5 Conservatives speak and very little body else. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Mason. Yes. Councillor Jody, please. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Completely agree with what Councillor Mason has said and also Councillor Robertson. I mean, we hear some strange things in this full council for sure, but you know, some of the things we've heard today is quite frankly ludicrous. Everybody who had a constituency speech spoke today. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chair. So that's exactly what you've said. It's equalled out, and everybody has had an opportunity if they wanted to speak. And I will address you, Chair. I do apologise. We constantly hear that this reform administration is not open to scrutiny. I think this administration is the most scrutinised administration from all angles, whether it's from here, whether it's from committees, whether it's from the press, from everywhere. And we are always happy. And I think it's fair to say that we thrive on scrutiny, to be honest. I was chair of a scrutiny committee. I scrutinised officers and scrutinised this administration as much as any opposition councillor would do. And that's what we should be doing. And that's what we all do. We hear about supplementary questions being taken away. They're not taken away. They're written. We get far better, more comprehensive answers. And then it's up to the local councillor who asks that question to feed back that supplementary question to the residents. So actually, it strengthens democracy. And like I say, we hear the allegation that democracy is being stripped away. Absolute nonsense. Democracy is actually strengthened because if more voices are being heard, and remember, it's not me speaking, I'm speaking on behalf of my residents, all 11,000 of them. And that happens, you know, here we've had, what, 8 or 9 speeches this morning? That's 90 to 100,000 residents' voices that have been heard. Thank you.
Councillor Jody for that. Brilliant submission. Thank you very much. I will now go on to, yes, I will now call on Councillor Lukacs for your right of reply, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. All I want to say is that audits have been achieved on time. We are one of the few councils that have had our accounts signed off with an unqualified opinion by the statutory deadline. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will now move the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please.
Abstentions?
Thank you.
Oh, we do against, yeah, sorry.
All those against, please. Do we have any abstentions, please?
That's been covered.
So this vote has been carried. We've got 39 in favour, 17 against, and 0 abstentions. Thank you very much. So I declare, well, that's the declaration of the vote. Would I move quickly to item agenda number 8, executive report, key issues and activities, as will be presented by the leader of the council. I would now ask that the leader has provided an executive report. The leader will move the receipt of the report for noting and may make a short statement introducing it. No other members may speak on this item, and no amendment can be tabled after we have taken this. Thank you, Councillor Batt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I shall keep it short as I can.
All right.
You've all got it in front of you. Obviously, you've got all the committees I've attended on the LGA. I attended the UK Reef Conference in Leeds. I was on stage with Mayor Clare and the other leaders from Nottinghamshire, Derbyshire. Of all the collaborative work we're going to be doing through EMCA, that went very well. It was a delight to attend the NCC Awards and Recognition event on the 20th of May. I attended that with all the cabinet members and deputy cabinet members. A brilliant afternoon, and it's shown just what all this great staff we have and what they deliver in this council. So it was a lovely afternoon. I also attended the Switch Up Dinner, brilliant event, over 500 people in attendance, and we raised over £70,000 on the night. And again, it's a brilliant charity and I've supported it for years. We went to the opening of the Woodside Bridge. I sent the letter to the Chinese ambassador. I'd like to thank Kevin for his help on that. We have received a reply if anybody wants to see it. And it was a lovely reply from him. I also attended a councillors forum in London. We've got a list of all the EMCA meetings I've chaired and attended. We also had a visit to the road mender in Rotherham. We've ordered 2 new mastic boilers to go with I call it our toolbox and our fleet to mend the roads. We'll be having them in the next couple of weeks and people will be trained up on those, and you'll see another big difference of the condition of the highways under the Reform administration. And then one of the nicest, and no disrespect to anybody in this room, officers or councillors, but I had one of the nicest meetings I've had since being elected as leader, when the fantastic Councillor Robertson, who's not here at the minute, came and got Everton Primary School to come to my office and give me the petition that he's given today. We took him around County Hall, we spent half a day with him, and it was lovely to have children being so passionate about their area. And I shall help them in every way I can to get what they want to school, or which is what they need. I had a visit from the Essex leader to look at our VIA and what we're doing on the highways. Again, he was very impressed. He came with his deputy. He spent most of the day with us. And I've also been contacted by many other councils now, because Nottinghamshire, Reform-led Nottinghamshire, leading on the way in the highways nationally. And it's great to recognise that the great work that officers and VIA are doing with that. It was a pleasure to attend Armed Forces Day. I'm honoured to be at them sort of events and meet, and it's cross-party, it's not politics, and it was lovely to be at that event. It was lovely also to attend the corporate parenting workshop, and I think everybody who attended got a real benefit out of that. I certainly did. And then we had the LGA training session. Mark Edgell joined us from the LGA, and he says we're going in the right direction. He says we're a fabulously run council, and we're doing a lot of stuff that other councils aren't doing, and congratulated us. So thanks so much for that. That's my report, Chairman.
Well, thank you very much, Leader. It's very that's brief, straightforward, and very concise. Thank you very much. I'll call on Councillor Justice to second the motion, please.
Thank you, Chair. I'm happy to second that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we've received this in chamber, and thank you very much. We'll move to item agenda 9A, questions to the leader of the council on the executive report. There are no questions on this executive report. 9B, Questions to the leader, cabinet members and committee chairmen. As set out in the Constitution, we have 40 minutes for questions to the leader, cabinet members and committee chairmen, after which any remaining questions will receive a written response. The member who has asked the original question may submit a supplementary question in writing within 5 working days of this meeting. I have received today notification of just 10 questions. Thank you. So we'll take that right away. Question number 1. I call on Councillor Bruce Lawton to ask a question regarding local government reorganisation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This is a question to the Leader of the Council. Central Government has published clear criteria for assessing local government reorganisation proposals. If the final decision for Nottinghamshire deviates from those criteria in a way that favours a politically motivated option or risks poorer outcome for residents that threaten the sustainability of local services, will the leader commit to pursuing all available legal avenues, including seeking a judicial review, as seen in other reform-led councils such as Sussex and Essex, to ensure that essential local services are fully protected? Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Bruce Lawton, for that question. I'll call on Councillor Mick Barton to please reply. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Councillor Lawton, for your question. As you are aware, we're expecting the government decision in the next few days ahead of the parliamentary recess. The council has worked hard to develop a proposal for the local government reorganisation which meets the criteria set out to the Secretary of State. The council expects the Secretary of State to have close regard to the strengths of evidence presented to him within the compelling proposals we put forward, including their financial viability and the use of existing districts and boundaries as building blocks for any new authorities. The council's response to the Secretary of State's decision will be carefully considered and taken in the best interest of the people of Nottinghamshire we all represent in this room. All options will be kept on the table to work towards the best outcome for the whole of this county. While legal action cannot be ruled out, no decisions will be taken lightly. We will ensure the public money is spent responsibly and appropriately, and any legal action would need to be based on robust professional advice. Thank you, Councillor Lawton, and thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Councillor Barton, for that very straightforward reply. Thank you. Question number 2. I call on Councillor Mike Adams to ask a question regarding Council Facebook page.
Thank you, Chairman. Can the leader explain why Reform have chosen to restrict public comments on the taxpayer-funded, politically impartial Nottinghamshire County Council Facebook page, reducing residents' ability to question, comment on and engage with council decisions? And does he believe the approach is consistent with the principles of openness, transparency and democratic accountability? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mike Adams, for that question. I'll call on Councillor Mike McBarton to please reply. Yes. Mick Barton.
Sorry. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Councillor Adams. Let me start by saying Reform has not chosen to restrict public comments on the Nottinghamshire County Council Facebook page. Our corporate social media channels are managed by officers from our communications team, in line with the Council's social media policy and House rules. The Council has a duty of care both to officers and members to protect them from the messages that they are harassing, abusive and defamatory. With that in mind, the availability to leave comments underneath Facebook posts on the main NCC account have been temporarily turned off. But hold on a minute, don't interrupt please. Sorry, Chairman, that's your job. But outside working hours, I'll say that again. The NCC account has been temporarily turned off
but outside working hours, followed by a spate of insulting and defamatory remarks, yet again, from anonymous accounts, so-called trolls and iBot accounts. It's important to point out that people can leave responses during office hours as normal and continue to do so, so nothing's been turned off. Indeed, it's hoped that cleaning up our feeds will receive a greater amount of feedback and engagement in a positive way. The team is currently reviewing all options and I will happily update members in due course. I would emphasise that this measure is primarily aimed at stopping trolls from posting abusive messages and to clear the way for constructive and even challenging responses from members of the public. Finally, I would like us all as a council to come together to reject online abuse and promote a more constructive public discourse. I will be asking officers to look at putting together a declaration along with online abuse that all members can sign up to so everyone is protected, including the most vulnerable in our county. I hope that all elected members will be happy to support me on this so we can take this forward in a positive way to everybody we represent.
Thank you, Councillor Mick-Barton, for that reply. I'll call on Councillor Penny Goland to ask your question regarding cold hubs and warm hubs. Thank you.
Thank you. With the effects of climate change becoming ever more apparent, would the council consider setting up both cold hubs and warm hubs to help vulnerable people at the appropriate times of year? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Penny Goland. Can I call on Councillor Jody Storr to reply to that, please?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Councillor Gowland, for your question. I can confirm that the Council is learning from the various episodes of warm and cold weather that we've experienced in recent years, and including flooding as well, and how it can more effectively help and support vulnerable people in the county. This has included considering options for cold and warm hubs. I'd like to say that currently Inspire Libraries, so our wonderful library service, delivers places of welcome through a number of our libraries, providing safe and welcoming community spaces where residents can keep warm and access free refreshments, connect with others and reduce social isolation. All libraries also provide free access to drinking water throughout the year. Further work is being completed to understand the feasibility and safety, property and financial and delivery implications of establishing additional hubs in the county. I'm happy to keep full council updated on progress as we do that work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Jody Storr. Thank you very much for that. We'll go on to question number 4 now. I'll call on Councillor Richard Butler to ask your question regarding the council's civic function. Thank you, sir. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a question to the Cabinet Member for Economic Development and Asset Management. As a former chairman of this council who fulfilled the role without the use of a civic suite or chauffeur, and given that this council previously closed the civic suite and intended to vacate County Hall to reduce costs to taxpayers, will the Cabinet Member for Economic Development and Asset Management state the total cost of creating the new civic suite at County Hall, including all associated expenditure such as refurbishment, staffing, maintenance, utilities, and any ongoing running costs? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Councillor Richard Butler, for that question. I'll call on Councillor James Walker-Gawley to please respond. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councillor Butler, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the focus on fiscal responsibility. It's a principle baked into the Reform Way. To address the core of your question, the total additional cost to the taxpayer for establishing this civic space is nil. 0. Rather than spending public funds, we focused on efficient asset management and we created a space by utilising furniture already within County Hall and a tin of paint already within County Hall The work was completed by the facilities management team as part of their regular duties, their existing responsibilities, and I'd like to take this opportunity alongside you, Mr. Chairman, to thank the facilities management team for all their work. The Reform Way remains delivering maximum value for our residents, and this civic suite will support the work we're all elected to do for the community.
Thank you very much, Councillor Walker-Golly, for that. And I also like to thank the leader of the Labour Party for giving us that space to use for civic suite, and also the facilities team who've done a fantastic job. Thank you. I'll go on to question 5 quickly. I call on Councillor Teresa Collin to ask a question regarding Council's pension fund investments. Thank you.
Quickly. My question is to the Chairman of the Nottinghamshire Pensions Fund Committee. In light of the brutal, disproportionate and destabilising attacks carried out by Israel in Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Qatar and Iran, will the committee chairman join the growing calls from councils across the country, including Broxtowe, and commit to reviewing this council's pension fund investments with a view to aligning them with ethical standards consistent with international principles of human rights?
Thank you, Councillor Collin. Councillor James Walker-Golly? Sorry, James Gamble. Sorry. Councillor James Gamble.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. You got the first name right. I'd like to thank Councillor Teresa Collin for raising this question, because I actually get the opportunity to talk about pensions, which I've not been able to for 15 months. So please do keep some questions going over the next few months. Of course, I've got to stare at, look at the Chair. Right, so we've got a pension committee. We're a friendly bunch. We've got city councillors, we've got borough councillors, district councillors, we've got county councillors, we've got pensioner reps, we've got trade union reps, and you're more than welcome, Teresa Cullen, to come over to the pension fund and see what we're all about and what we discuss. But this divestment, it's actually a long-standing issue that preceded me. In fact, when the previous chair was here, it got raised before under other correspondence as well. So we recognise that members, employers and stakeholders may hold strong views on international issues and role of pension funds in addressing them. The Nottinghamshire Pension Fund, its overriding responsibility is to act in the best financial interests of its members and its employers as part of a local government pension scheme, which is the LGPS. We are required by law to ensure that the fund is managed to pay pensions when they are due. That's our main objective. The fund does not make investment decisions based on political or ethical grounds unless these factors present a material financial risk to its fiduciary duty. However, we also take responsible investment seriously. Fund managers that we work with are required to consider environmental, social and governance, that's ESG, which we've discussed previously at the fund, risks when investing, and to engage with companies to encourage better practices, regularly reporting us on these engagements. Government guidance is clear that LGPS funds must not use investments to pursue their own foreign or defence purposes. Okay. The LGPS Scheme Advisory Board, the SAB, which I've worked with previously, has responded to the recent divestment campaign led by the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, PSC, which includes detailed legal submissions requesting the LGPS funds to divest from companies linked to violations of international law. The SAB recognises the gravity of the humanitarian situation and wrote to the Secretary of State seeking guidance on these matters.
Councillor, you've got 30 seconds left.
Oh, right, oh, crikey. Right, I'm going to have to miss a few paragraphs now. Okay, right. Consequently, we will continue to prioritise long-term financial security for our members, monitor ESG and human rights concerns, ensuring our policies reflect best practice and review strength of our ESG and human rights. In the meantime, we will continue to listen to stakeholders and monitor developments closely while ensuring that all decisions remain consistent with our fiduciary duty and the regulatory framework we operate under. Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor James Gamble, for that. We'll move quickly to question 6. I call on Councillor Neil Clark, MBE, to ask you a question, sir, regarding County Core Plus block.
Thank you, Chairman. Plans were previously put in place by the Conservative administration last term to demolish the ageing class block at County Hall in order to reduce ongoing maintenance liabilities and release the site for future capital and revenue receipts. Will the Cabinet Member for Economic Development and Asset Management provide an update on the current position, including when demolition is now expected to take place, the reasons for any delay to those plans, and the total ongoing maintenance and associated costs being incurred by retaining the building in its current state? Thank you.
I call on Councillor James Walker-Gawley, please, to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to you, Councillor Clark. I'm not going to say MBE. MBE, go on, you can have it. I feel like I can answer this with 3 letters, LGR, but I'll give you the full answer. I published a report in October last year, which I'm sure you read. That report contains all the answers to your questions. To state clearly our position, the decision to pause the demolition of the class block is a deliberate choice tied to LGR. With an outcome expected very soon, moving forward prematurely with major structural alterations would be financially reckless. We must understand the future footprint of local government in the region before finalising our estate requirements. The building is vacant, secure and monitored within the council site. Because of this, the day-to-day operational liabilities are minimal, ensuring that safety risks are managed properly without draining public resources. The reform way of asset management is to secure maximum public value rather than rushing disposals, and it's proven highly successful, allowing us to deliver historical capital receipts figures for this council over the last year. And seeing as you guys continue to give me all this airtime, the reform way achieved the largest capital receipts in this authority's history and the largest of any authority outside of London. No thanks to you, Councillor Smith. We remain on a strong trajectory for this year, and our officers are continuing to refine the future options for County Hall so that we can act swiftly and intelligently once the outcome of LGR is confirmed.
Thank you, Councillor Gawley, for that brilliant response. I'll go on to question 7, please. I'll call on Councillor Lise Clooney to ask a question regarding finances for highways maintenance.
Thank you, Chair. Just a question about, this is to the Cabinet Member for Transport and Environment. Please, can you provide a breakdown of the exact sources of 183.25 million funding being spent on highway maintenance, including that from the Labour Mayor of the East Midlands, borrowing and other sources? Thank you.
I call on Councillor Bath Bingham to respond, please.
Thank you, Councillor Clooney, for the opportunity to highlight this council's record investment in highways this year. We believe it is the largest highway maintenance programme of any UK local authority. In addition to the extra 2 million of urgent resurfacing, this administration approved at the end of winter a full breakdown of the 181.25 million we are investing in highways was included in the Phase 2 Capital and Revenue Programmes report, which was considered at the April Cabinet meeting. A copy of this report is publicly available on the Council's website. In terms of the split of funding sources, around 35% of the total funding is directly from the Council in a mixture of council tax reserves and borrowing. 40% comes from the Department of Transport and is passed through the East Midlands Combined County Authority, EMCA. Around 15% comes from other grants that the Council applies for, such as Active Travel England and electric vehicle infrastructure grants. The remainder is funded by accelerating delivery of some of next year's capital programmes. I would highlight that all of our highway funding is ultimately taxpayers' money, regardless of the political flavour of the Mayor of the East Midlands. In 2025, it is estimated that UK motorists paid around 38 billion in VAT, fuel duty and vehicle tax. yet only 1.57 billion was allocated to the maintenance of the country's local road networks. That's obviously now less than £1. It's something like £1 in every 25. Local roads are the backbone of our economy, moving freight and people and keeping businesses going. The road freight sector is estimated to contribute about 5.5% of our national GDP. Despite knowing how vital our roads are, our country has a growing national backlog of deferred highway maintenance, currently £18.6 billion, and economists estimate that poor roads are costing our economy £14.4 billion per year in lost productivity. Therefore, I hope all Nottinghamshire County Council elected members will join me in calling upon central government to reassess its spending priority and allocate more funding to local road maintenance so that we can improve our roads and get our economy growing. So thank you. And I just say we've got a Ed Miliband yesterday promising 12 billion in climate funding for overseas countries. It's just ridiculous when they're cutting back on our highways. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bath Bingham, for that brilliant response. I will go on to question number 8, and I call on Councillor Neil Clark MB to ask a question again regarding County Hall maintenance.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. Following the shocking reports at the end of June in which a pane of glass fell out of an upper floor window at County Hall, resulting in staff being warned not to stand near windows while contractors monitor the building, will the Cabinet Member for Economic and explain why the Reform Administration continues to occupy an unsafe, ageing building costing around £1.7 million a year to maintain, while office space at the purpose-built accommodation here, where we are now at Oak House, sits empty.
Okay, can I ask Councillor James Walker-Golly to please respond?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Neil, Councillor Clark. It's 3 questions. I just thought I'd raise that at the start because I don't know if we're supposed to be doing 3 questions in one, but I'm happy to answer them anyway. The safety of our staff and visitors is our absolute priority, and any incident involving the fabric of this council's buildings is treated with the utmost seriousness. To state the position plainly, County Hall is structurally safe. Investigations into the incident identified that the glazing putty securing the window pane had deteriorated over time, probably exacerbated by the recent hot weather. As a precaution, the area was made secure. These emergency cordons were put in place by our internal facilities management team as part of their standard duties, incurring zero cost to the taxpayer. We have completed a survey of the windows and the costs for the remedial works are currently being finalised. Regarding this building that we are in today, Oak House, award-winning, I've explained previously and published a report stating that it is utilised by the MASH and customer services teams, and moving these services into Oak House has saved the public lots of money by ending our reliance on expensive privately rented accommodation. My door is always open if you would like to work together for the people. My door is always open if you would like to work together for the people and focus on the practical reality that County Hall is an efficient asset that can actually hold 100 councillors and their cars, unlike this building. Remaining at County Hall during this period is a deliberate and financially responsible decision, with the LGR announcement expected soon, committing to a premature, disruptive and expensive headquarters relocation right now would be a reckless use of public funds.
Thank you for that response. We're grateful. Can I move on quickly to question 9, please? And I'll call on Councillor Sue Saddington to ask your question regarding school drop-off facility.
Thank you, Chairman. County Councillor Nigel Moxon worked with local Mansfield members and the previous Conservative administration to secure approval for the sale of council-owned land specifically to enable the delivery of a dedicated school drop-off and pick-up zone for Abbey School in Mansfield, addressing the long-standing traffic and road safety issues on Stewart Avenue. Will the Cabinet member confirm whether the council remains committed to delivering the promised drop-off facility, and if so, provide a timetable for its delivery and an assurance that this important road safety project will be prioritised for the benefit of pupils, parents and local residents? And that question is to the Cabinet member for Transport and Environment, please.
Thank you very much, Councillor Sue Saddington, for that question you've asked. I'm going to call on Councillor James Walker-Gully to provide a response for that question.
Thank you, Councillor Saddington and Mr. Chairman. I'm not sure who's writing the questions for you guys, but just to clarify, no past or current member has ever secured approval for a dedicated pick-up and drop-off zone in this space. This was never agreed and it was never on a capital programme. In April, MDC approved planning for 50 homes on the adjacent council-owned land. Officers are reviewing the financial viability of a new school pick-up and drop-off based on the capital receipt that we generate. In my opinion, this probably didn't have to come to full council. You can speak to me anytime. My door's always open. That's the reform way.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Gully, for that. Thank you very much. I'll call on, we're going on straight to, yes, ma'am.
That this was agreed in the previous administration, not this one. It was agreed in the previous administration. And what I'm asking, if you read the question, is he going to agree to that and give these pupils and parents a safe dropping off and collecting point? It's nothing to do with what he's done now. It was what we're doing.
I can clarify if you'd like, Mr. Chairman.
James.
No? Okay.
Chairman, it's a point of order because he's not talked to the question.
Hello, yes. Councillor Saddington, you could send in a written question and then you'll get a response to that as a supplementary.
He's had advance warning of this question, and I'm sorry, but he should have the answer. And if he hasn't got it, then he shouldn't be there.
Yes, he has answered it, but I will give him another 1 minute to say one word towards what you've just said. Councillor James.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, Councillor Saddington, what I was trying to explain to you was it's not the case. I don't know who wrote the question for you. That's how I started, if you listened. Your question's wrong. It's incorrect. So you're saying someone secured it. No one ever secured it. Not a previous member, nor a current member. No one.
I'm trying, though.
Well, they haven't. I wouldn't lie to you, would I?
Much, Councillor Walker-Gully and Councillor Paddington. I would move on to question 10 quickly. Thank you very much to both of you. Question 10, I call on Councillor Helen Fisher to please ask your question regarding replacement of ceilings at Exdale Junior School. Thank you, please.
Thank you, Chair. Estelle Junior School in Chilwell is an outstanding school which was built in the 1960s and is way beyond its expected lifespan. The class building contains asbestos and is rapidly deteriorating in many ways, with particular concern over the pegboard ceilings and lighting, which in some areas are now bordering on unsafe. The governing body has been told the County Council is committed to replacing all ceilings of this type, but Estelle has been given no definitive date of when this work will take place. In the meantime, the school is being asked to pay for repairs out of its existing budget, essentially throwing good money after bad. Can the Cabinet member for Economic Development and Asset Management please confirm when these essential ceiling repairs at Estelle will take place and commit to making Estelle a safer, modern and comfortable environment that its staff and pupils deserve?
Thank you very much, Councillor Helen Fashier, for that question. Can I call on Councillor James Walker-Gully to please respond to that? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Faccio, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. The School Building Improvement Programme delivers maintenance and improvements across Nottinghamshire and the maintained school estate, which is a programme funded through the school condition allocation from the DFE. Over the summer holidays, we will deliver works at 25 schools, spending over £15 million, and this will target our most in need locations and ensure children return to safe, improved buildings in September. However, there is more need than funding allows, and the Council must carefully prioritise works required. We will always focus first on those that ensure safety and avoid lost school days. I can confirm that within the next few months, I will be presented with the work schedule for 26-27, and Estelle will be assessed as part of this process, and I will update you afterwards. I am always available and happy to have a discussion at any time if you feel the need.
Point of order 91, if I may. Yeah.
It's personal clarification.
Yes.
Yes, I will give you.
Thank you, Chairman. I don't want to get into a battle with the cabinet member for asset management. Obviously, he's got information that my members have not seen in response to the question you've given, and quite rightly, you're relying on that information that's been passed to you, and I totally understand that. That information does not match up with what my administration did, and Councillor Keith Gillen and I signed off on that site being sold purely for the money to then go into creating a car park. So the houses you're referring to for the housing was always the plan. The money was then going to go into a car park, and we understand that that money has been redesignated. I'm happy to meet you afterwards and match our information from our previous time with your new information so we can get to the bottom of it, because I don't believe you've been given the correct information, and I think that's a misgiving for the residents of Mansfield.
Thank you for that clarification, Councillor Smith. And I'm going to move that we proceed for lunch at this point. And please don't forget that we need to all come together to take just about 2 or 3 minutes outside there, as requested by Combs, to take a photo to support our English team, England, playing soon. This World Cup is something we all love. And so let's just take that few minutes before we go on to eat and take that photo for them, please. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, councillors. Yes, it's